Welcome to the Love Clarity Podcast, where you come to heal your relationship trauma and learn to love deeply without losing yourself. Hello, love, and welcome back to the Love Clarity Podcast, where we unpack the pain that doesn't always have a name, so you can finally find the clarity you've been searching for. I'm Sanya Bari, relationship trauma therapist, coach, and someone who has spent years sitting with clients who say, I don't know if this counts as abuse. It's not like they hit me. You know what? Maybe I'm just too sensitive. And the worse, I did entice them. If you ever questioned your reality, if you've ever felt invisible, crazy, or raised inside a relationship, if you feel like you don't remember that you're having to take notes, this episode is for you. When Marcella came to me, she didn't use words like abuse. She said, he's a good guy. He's never yelled. He's never cheated on me. But I feel so alone. And I don't know why. They were married for 7 years. No dramatic fights, no door slamming, no cheating, but also no warmth, no presence, no emotional connection. It was very confusing. When she cried, he walked away. When she brought up a concern, he'd say, you're overreacting. That's not what's happening. You're just too sensitive. Just let it go. Over time, she stopped bringing things up. She stopped crying in front of him. She would do it in privacy. It wasn't safe to cry in front of him. She stopped believing her feelings mattered at all, to the point where even when she was coming to me, she was like almost justifying that, hey, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I shouldn't feel this way, that I'm wrong or bad for feeling this way. Other people have it so much worse than me. Like all of this banter. And she came to me asking, is it just me? Am I just broken? Is there something wrong with me? And she wasn't broken. She was gaslit. It wasn't that she was broken. She was gaslit. And she was emotionally neglected. I've lived versions of these too in my own life. There were moments when I would speak up and share something vulnerable, only to be met with silence, distraction, just deflection, blame, changing the script, or a subtle dismissal of some sort. Not outright rejection, not violence, just this absence, a vacuum where intimacy should have been, questions where answers should have been, emptiness where loving should have been. And it took me a long time to understand that this was harm, that what I was feeling wasn't neediness. It was my body signaling deprivation to me, a yearning to me. Because here's the truth. When someone consistently denies or minimizes your emotional experience, it slowly erodes your sense of self. You don't just lose the relationship, you start to lose pieces of yourself. You start to lose trust that maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I just don't get it. That's the wound of emotional neglect. And the gaslighting, it teaches you not to trust your own eyes, your own memory, your own heart, your own consciousness. That's the biggest loss of all. Because now you've lost this love, this idea that you wanted, but you've also lost you. Here's what I want you to know. Emotional neglect is real. Gaslighting is real. Crazy making is real. When you're being made crazy, made to feel crazy. Many times people start taking notes. They check in with themselves. They literally will say, am I crazy? They just don't understand, because when they talk to their person, they also have a reality, but their reality has to be denied in order to accept the reality that their partners are feeding them. Neither gaslighting nor emotional neglect requires yelling to destroy you. It can be done very silently. It's like death by paper cuts. We often link abuse to being loud, to being beaten, to this visible, dramatic, cops called, and restraining order bit. But the most insidious CO2 hidden level of abuse, the most dangerous kind because it can go undiscovered for your whole life, the silent killer, is this type of neglect. It's the kind that makes you question your instincts. You don't have a lot of wounds to show for it. Minimizing your needs, blaming yourself for wanting more, making yourself feel guilty that why is it that you're not happy in this, terrorizing yourself by stories of what other people go through and forcing yourself to feel grateful for something that your entire consciousness is saying is not okay. First, they gaslight you, and then you start taking over and start gaslighting yourself. The betrayal from them, the neglect from them is bad enough, but then you get recruited in that and that you start to do their own work for them. To the point where this person is coming to me, a therapist, for her relief, but she cannot allow herself to even own that fully, to own her feelings fully, because she's been so trained. It has been so many years of programming that she's wrong or bad, and that her feelings are wrong or bad, and that she is probably crazy. Gaslighting isn't just someone lying to you. It's someone denying your lived reality until you start denying it too. And emotional neglect isn't just about what they didn't do. It's about how much you had to go missing to stay in that relationship, to pretend that relationship worked, to make their wrongs, so to speak, right. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You are beginning to wake up. Take a breath. Give yourself a pause. And ask yourself, where have I minimized my own pain because it didn't look like abuse? Where have I bought into the stories that they're giving me? Where am I denying my own voice to me? Where am I shutting myself out? Where am I neglecting myself? Where have I silenced myself to keep the peace? Where have I made something that does not feel right to me right, just so I can keep going? Where have I lost myself in this process? You might write all of these down, and you might systematically, one by one, answer these for yourself for clarity. Clarity begins that process of you awakening to yourself. Become somebody who can neutrally observe yourself, so that you can give yourself safety. You can have a safe place to go when you're not feeling emotionally safe. You can go into the position of taking altitude and watching yourself as you go through your processes. Just because no one sees the bruises doesn't mean you didn't bleed. You know that, and that's enough. You don't need to convince anyone else, and please don't even try to. Do not argue, do not defend, don't convince, don't over explain. You know what you know, and it keeps repeating in your mind, you're not wrong. You're allowed to name what happened. You're allowed to heal, even if others don't understand or don't agree or object. You're allowed to come back to yourself now. And I'm going to say that if you feel like you're saving something by denying yourself, is it really that there's something worth saving? If you're trying to save your relationship, is it even a relationship? If you're trying to save the love that you had and fantasize about, is that even love? And can you love yourself? If you can you love another person if your love for you is not complete? And I'm going to say that when you and I work to love another person, not through our love for ourselves, when we have not defined, not created, not nurtured the love for ourselves, every time we love any person, any situation, anything, by putting ourselves aside, it is not love. It is just compensation for that love that you need. And when you start to show up and you love yourself and you fulfill the need that you need, now you're in a position where you can go to other people where you want but don't need them, because that's the exact amount of pressure a relationship can withstand. I have been in my life at times needy. It was a horrible experience for me. And I know it was a horrible experience for the other person. You and I have had people around us who were needy with us. And you know what that feels like on the receiving end. It is not pleasant. It doesn't make you look desired or wanted. You don't even want yourself. Forget about the other person. Now, if this episode spoke to a pain you never had words to express before, or it lights something in you, know that you're not alone. Know that you're not crazy. Know that there is a membership that we have where people like you and me get together with big love and try to understand on an experiential level how to get clear on what love is apart from what love is not. We start to understand where we lose ourselves in love. And we use one moment of loving at a time to reteach ourselves how to love so that we don't lose ourselves in the process. So we can continue to love even more deeply the things and the projects and the people that we love. Because now loving is safe. And we can deepen and deepen in love, as opposed to what I used to do is I would always hold a little bit back just for safety. And if the Love Clarity Inner Circle isn't for you, I'll see you back here next Wednesday for another episode of the Love Clarity Podcast. I'm Sanya Bari. So much love to you. Can't wait to see you next week again.